Well, full time, Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 0, a game that was played at Villa Park, and it has gonna hit to end in favor of nobody, and both teams have gonna hit obviously walk away back home with 1 point. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily with the entire Ineos hierarchy that is really leading all heading all football decisions at the club of Manchester United. Watching in, obviously, Erik ten Hag looks like he's a relieved man as we speak right about now, because a draw's going to have to come in through off a very big team. Obviously, the previous 2 seasons, Aston Villa has looked a better team than Manchester United, and I tell you what, it was one of those moments that everyone was really worried about. But Erik ten Hag went ahead, obviously, register himself a draw, and we all know to it that this team had just gone ahead to beat Bayern Munich in the midweek by 1-0. And if at all you think Aston Villa is an ordinary team, obviously, you know what they've gone ahead to do. But I had gone ahead to predict a draw in my match preview, but I went ahead to obviously see to it that a lot really was lacking into that starting 11. But Erik ten Hag has come up with that 11, and it has gone ahead to do the unexpected, because however much Villa had a lightweight midfield, I thought that they would have gone ahead obviously come and really do things better and better and better into that game. But United really looked solid, and in the due course of it looking solid, they really allowed just 1 shot on target from Aston Villa. Just 1 shot on target, and I think it came in through from Yuri Tillemans, but United had 4 shots on target. So I tell you, there are positives as usual, and one of the things that have gone ahead to excite me is to see to it that our wingers today, all wide forwards, have gone ahead obviously track back, something that I've always gone ahead obviously tell people, and people have been like, Rokani, you hate Marcus Rashford. Now, if Marcus Rashford tracked back like he did today in the game of Porto, we wouldn't have gone ahead to lose that game. The first 2 goals that we conceded wouldn't have gone ahead to happen, and you saw it today that when Erik ten Hag played him as a left forward, he was tracking back, you know, to help Dalot. And do you remember in any situation where Leon Bailey got a chance to go past Diego Dalot? Do you know why? Because he was not exposed into a 1v2 situation. You understand? So I think this is how we are supposed to be defending, and that is something that Garnacho and Marcus Rashford are supposed to be doing game in, game out. That is it. They're supposed to be doing that game in, game out, track back, defend, and put in the energy. I saw a team of Manchester United that was compact in the midfield. You know, there are no spaces, and this is where I tell you that Ten Hag is just a stubborn coach. He knows exactly what to do, but sometimes if for a sexist and say, all right, let me try out something. But the definition of insanity is trying out the same thing on several occasions, expecting different results. And today, if we are open, would have gone ahead to make it easy for the side of Aston Villa to open us at. But when you look at how we made it hard for them to obviously open up that team of Manchester United, it was really one of the brilliant moments, you know. So I'm really posing lots of questions to Erik ten Hag as to why he knows the truth and he doesn't obviously come up to obviously he knows the truth and he doesn't obviously want to orchestrate it in different games. You know, against Spurs, you come up with that approach, you beat Spurs at Old Trafford. Against any team, you know, if you kill off the chances that you get, you obviously find yourself really doing the needful. So for me, I believe Erik ten Hag knows the truth, but he's really doing something bad. He's doing what we call an injustice to himself, because that's not what we are calling for. It should be something different altogether. And these the wingers should obviously come and really support the fullbacks, and that's exactly what we're here to happen. We defended in numbers. You saw to it that every time we're expecting a cross or an attack, you saw to it that there are very many bodies of Manchester United into our box to make it hard for Aston Villa to obviously break us down. And I tell you, it has been not all that entertaining game, but if I told you enjoy tactics of the game, it has been a game that you want to obviously watch, because Erik ten Hag put in a very huge a very huge, compact midfield, and you need to eat that. I'm really having Kobe Mainoo and Ericsson good on the ball, and as it stands, there is no way they're really going to let me down in that midfield, and they obviously went ahead, obviously put in a shift. Now, I know most of you are like, is this going to save Eric Ten Hag? I'm not Ineos, but I tell you, there is no way they're really going to sack him. According to me, I told you, if he loses this game, that's when sacking him is really going to be at 90%. He has collected a point from the side of Villa, and I think it's really going to be postponed to the first 3 games that we are playing when we return from the international break. And those games are really very important. I think I'm going to be bringing that discussion later. And let me show you how this game of football really went ahead to happen in here. And the game starts, or the match starts. Where as follows: 11 shots by Aston Villa, 10 shots by Man United, 1 shot on target by Aston Villa, and Manchester United had 4 shots on target. 55% ball possession by Villa. United had 45% ball possession. 412 passes completed by Aston Villa. 356 passes completed by Manchester United. 82% passing accuracy by Villa, 81% passing accuracy by Man United. 12 fouls by Villa, 11 fouls by Man United. 1 yellow card to Aston Villa and 5 yellow cards to the club of Manchester United. And this is where I felt like this referee was like, I want United to lose this game of football. Why? Ericsson, in just 3 minutes, right? In just 3 minutes, he was really shown a yellow card on his first foul. And most of the players of Manchester United, on their first foul, they are flashed a yellow card. Rashford, you can talk about Lindelof, Harry Maguire, which other player was really yellow carded? I've just talked about that player. Ericsson, and the 5th yellow card went ahead to go to Kobe Mainoo. So, whichever player of United made the first tackle, he was really booked. And I was like, what is the aim of this referee? And I think the officiation was really very, very bad. And we can all agree with me that the officiation was really very bad. No red cards really went ahead, obviously, be issued to any United player. 0 offsides. 1 offside for Manchester United. 6 corners for Aston Villa. And 3 corners to the side of Manchester United. So that's how everything we went ahead to go down at the Villa Park, and Manchester United went ahead to put in such a performance. I know there is a clique of Ten Hag outers that are like, get the man out, get the man out. But I tell you, on Tuesday, a meeting is going to be held in London, and it's a monthly meeting that is always scheduled to take place into the first week of, or the first 8 days of the week, of the month, and they're going to be discussing lots of things altogether. And now, everyone who has always gone ahead, obviously, compare Harry Maguire to Matthias De Ligt, you saw the difference. Harry Maguire, average player, and you saw when De Ligt came on, the interceptions he made, the way he obviously commands that defense, playing with John Evans for the very first time. I think he put in a very beautiful shift, and he came in when it was 0-0, kept a clean sheet, and he really kept us going. But for me, his interceptions were really giving. But even Dalot putting in that block, he was really good. And I tell you what, that entire back line was really doing great. And I don't know how Unai Emery is really going to be feeling with his players, because if United is not having a CDM that is really proper and you cannot really break through their midfield, that is really something very, very insane, you know. Tielemans and Ross Barkley, I believe they have all what it takes to do better, but they couldn't win that midfield battle over Manchester United. I really remember an attack of Aston Villa that really came through the central axis. You get most of the attacks came wide off the pitch. But for Manchester United, you saw to it that they could obviously try to launch through the midfield, through Ericsson, Kobe Mainoo, and very many others. And that shows you how Ten Hag went ahead to obviously make a very good tactical plan to obviously come up and obviously take on the side of Villa. And that's what it is. The game ended 0-0 and another clean sheet kept by Man United. And ever since this season started, let me really let you know what games United went ahead to play and they've gone ahead to keep clean sheets. Fulham, it was a clean sheet. Crystal Palace, clean sheet. Southampton, clean sheet. Aston Villa, clean sheet. Out of the 7 games that Manchester United has gone ahead to play this season, 4 of those they've gone ahead to keep clean sheets. You get? And those clean sheets, I think, would have gone to result into better results if at all we are really clinical. Like the game of Crystal Palace, I think we did all what it takes to obviously score a goal, and we couldn't obviously kill off our chances. But that leaves us with a very huge question. How are we going to solve the problem of really killing off chances and really creating chances for our number 9s? And this goes to the manager, Erik Ten Hag, because today he went ahead to obviously shock me in the starting 11, but even the subs went ahead to shock me. You get, apart from the injury of Harry Maguire and Mazorowi to obviously get on Date and Lindelof respectively, I believe that Amad Diallo deserved a chance to obviously come in through and play into that game. But he brought on who? He brought on Anthony. And I don't really understand what the manager was all about. In a game like this, you needed a person like Amad Diallo to obviously open up the defense of your opponent. And we look at Anthony came in through with his selfish efforts and so on and so forth, and his brain is not yet settled. I think he's really tortured. And I was like, what is Erik Ten Hag doing, in these substitutions? You understand? And even in the midfield, I think he really delayed to get on Casemiro or Manuel Ugarte. He really delayed. He delayed a lot to get on players of that caliber, because United had 2 yellow cards into that midfield. Eriksson was yellow carded, Kobe Mainoo was yellow carded, and moreover, before even half time, and they played close. For Kobe Mainoo, he played more 35 minutes before he was taken off the field of play. And I think that was really a risk of the highest order when you really have players that can come off the bench and really impact the game. And you look at the risk he was really taking. I think he was really living dangerously as a manager, because red cards have been the order of the day in the previous 2 games that Manchester United had gone ahead obviously put out. And when you look at Bruno Fernandes, oh my God, again today, no player of Manchester United put in more blind passes than that guy. You get? And he couldn't obviously even tackle a player, meaning that because he has been red carded twice in 2 consecutive games, it's like, what's wrong with me? Do I really tackle badly? You understand? And I saw to it that he couldn't obviously try to put in a tackle because he's afraid of really getting in what you call a red card, something that you can't rely on to. And I believe time has come for this guy to obviously be benched. But if any player is really benched by the club of Manchester United, why is it that Bruno Fernandes cannot be benched? That is my huge question. Does he have a clause in his contract that he has to obviously be starting any game? Because that's where we can go and start really thinking that way, as we keep to question ourselves as, why is it that for Bruno Fernandes it's like that, and for other players they can get off the field of play? Today, Lisandro Martinez never played a minute in this game. He never played a minute. Yet we know to it that has been one of those players that has always gone ahead to put in a very huge shift for the club of Manchester United. So I really doubt sorry about that. I really doubt whether this is done on merit, because the worst player in this season for the club of Manchester United is being given to play 90 minutes, game in, game out. The only way they obviously get him off the field of play is when the referee says a red card has been issued to you. So I don't know what the plan is, but Bruno Fernandes for me is not that perfect number 10 that is really going to turn around everything. And it's not it is that for him to operate as a number 10, we need to be playing what we call counter-attacking football. When you're really playing a side that can really sit there like Aston Villa, and obviously make it a little bit hard for you to break through the lines, then Bruno Fernandes struggles. I think his best moment was that free kick that was really ricocheted off the bar or the crossbar. But what else? What else to obviously think of? What else to think of? I think nothing. And Bruno really went ahead, obviously disappoint. We saw Onana has now 4 clean sheets for the club of Manchester United, and you're going to be waiting to see how things really pan out. Now, is he going to be sacked or not? I think I'm not the right guy to answer that question, but I have my thoughts. And I think the game of football, it's not dictatorial. You can come up and obviously put in your thoughts. I think he's not going to be sacked. By the time we return from the international break, Erik ten Hag is going to be here. I relate all what I'm saying to what Fabrizio Romano put out after we lost to Spurs by 3-0. And he was like, Ineos are just trying to see whether Erik ten Hag has enough balls to obviously tell these players to impact him, right? Before everything really goes bad. So, I think in the previous 2 games, these players have gone ahead, obviously react very well. They've shown the manager they can die for him. And I tell you what, they've gone ahead to put in a very huge shift into that beautiful game of football. So, Erik ten Hag, I know he has gone ahead to obviously make very many draws that would have going to be turned as wins this season. But all in all, we have to obviously continue to see to it that everything really moves on as planned. So that is Bruno Fernandes for you, Boghes, and very many others that took part in this game of football. And allow me draw a little bit deep into your comments. Justin Ogori, they have tried, but Bruno, his game is down. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. Misach Nisimire, Ten Hag must go, period. All right. Oshan Daniel, good one for today. Justin Ogori, I support Eriksson to be used as a number 10. Obviously, he's the best number 10 that we have at that stadium. Nelson Mwesigwa, good evening. Aradi, good evening. Alfred Kenny Nibigira, referee tried to help Aston Villa by giving yellow card. The referee was really very, very naive at what he was doing, because there is a player like Matt Cash. He made close to 4 fouls on Alejandro Garnacho, and he never really walked away with the yellow card. You get? Instead, the manager was like, I'm going to really do the needful and obviously throw these to you. You understand? So, I tell you, nothing is really going to happen, if at all we don't really create these moments. But the referee was really stupid on the day, and he really looked like a complete clown. He was a clown, and I was like, why did they give us such a referee? To Sabe Levy, this is the best Premier League game. Really? I think we went ahead to play Crystal Palace good, Southampton good. I think you're talking about the opposition and the energy, right? It has been a technical masterclass. That is it. Nelson Mwesigwa, Erik ten Hag is not a problem. Wow, all right. Nibingira, let's wait for the announcement next week. I don't think we're not going to hear it. Justin Ogori, also coach need to use Garnacho, Ahmad, Brashi, need to be used as substitutes. All right. Then to Xabi Levy, wow, Delete good in defense plus Evans and Victor. You've gone ahead to see how Delete is. And now, I really feel like it's one of those moments that you don't really want to listen to, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to defending and really playing better. I think Delete really had a better game than Harry Maguire, and this is what I'm always going to let you know, that he's really good. And when someone says that there is no upgrade, I'm like, where are you watching football from? I think we are watching football from a different caliber altogether and different angles, but some people are just biased on their decisions that they make each and every time they're really making decision, putting their input. So for me, I think Delete will show his class. He will show his class day in, day out. Then Everton, this is Justin Ogori, also coach need to use. All right. Emmanuel Nuerowo, I hope they'll sack They're not sacking him. They're not sacking him. You know, sometimes people, I think the only way it would have gone ahead to go there, that side of sacking him, is when he's beaten by Villa. But there is something I've gone ahead to obviously see Jamie Carragher put out, and this is what he really went ahead to obviously you will have these usual suspects like Rio Ferdinand, not enough for Manchester United. United are not improving. It's not enough. That's what he says. And you just have to look at him and really say and really ask, what the hell is he saying? And what the hell is he doing? They are really saying United is not good, but United has gone ahead to fail the system of Unai Emery. You know, even against Bayern Munich, they looked vibrant, but Erik ten Hag has come out and deployed his system, and it has failed the system of Unai Emery. And I hate people like Ferdinand when they come out and everybody say that United didn't do enough. You get? If you are at Villa Park, where teams like City come and really get beaten, for us as United, we have to obviously go there and do the needful, and then we just have to come back and obviously wait for them to see what they bring to us. We have to be reactionary, and United went ahead and obviously got everything right. You get? There has just been that one big chance for Villa, all right. Villa had just one big chance, so you remember. And that Dallo blocked it with his back to go into the bench. And I was looking for this guy. Where is Jamie Carragher? Jamie Carragher. There is something that Jamie Carragher went ahead to say. You get that I want to read to you, the viewers, and really understand what it means to go at Villa. He says, a draw at Villa Park for any team would be a good result. United have done brilliantly defensively. Now, if Carragher, who has been a critic of Erik ten Hag, says that, then you get to know to it that the harvest is that big, because it's not easy to come at Villa Park and even pick a point. That is it. It's not easy. It's not easy. Villa Park has been one of those grounds that have been hard to obviously find ourselves really, all other teams really doing the deal. Though last season beat them here 2-1, but I tell you, they can attack you left, right, and center. So I think a draw at Villa doesn't mean that Ten Hag should be sacked, because that is the basic end gate, and Villa is really a decent side, and United has really gone ahead obviously put in those tactics right for the manager. Then Silva says referee was against United. Obviously that was seen even by the blind. Spice of Addis, Ten Hag out. Silva says he should go, period, and Anthony, Bruno, and Marcus. You people, you have anything to say about yourself that Ten Hag should go, but I don't see him going. I think pressure would have gone to mount on him if at all he lost, and he's really going to be here. He's going to be the manager when they're taking on Brentford. Joel Muller, we are going to win the next game. No sacking Erik ten Hag. That is when you're playing against Brentford at Old Trafford. Silva says, Wapi, how can United be 14th position in 7 games? Now, the position doesn't matter right now. I told you that it's 10 games for me. 3 to go to see how Erik ten Hag is really going to be harvesting points in there for you. If he can happen to win the next 3 games, he'll be having close to he'll be having how many points? He'll be having because now he has 8, he'll be having 17. So for me, we wait and see. I'm not convinced with Erik ten Hag tactics, guys. Obviously, we respect your opinion, and you should respect the opinions of others, because everyone is entitled to his own opinion. Johnson says, please guys, enough is enough, so let him go, all right. Silva says, if Ten Hag used Ugarte, Kobe Mainoo, and Amad Diallo in that game, we would Who tells you? You think we haven't gone ahead to lose a game of football when those people are there? You get? We've gone ahead to lose a game when they're there. So it's just an opinion, but it's not a mass. Kasomwe, let him go. This coach, he was supposed to use. Now, you people, these reasons aren't sounding enough to sack the manager, I tell you. That's what your coach does with Bruno. For me, I've gone ahead to fault him on Bruno Fernandes, and if at all he gets sacked, obviously he would have gone to sack himself. Kasen and Bernard, let him stay, all right, gospel music. But I don't understand why Eric Ten Hag does not think very fast, because Menu was tired and he would bring in Ugarte or Casemiro. Who told you that Menu was tired? He played like, is it 40 minutes when you're playing against Liverpool? Sorry, played against Spurs. And even when we are playing against Porto, he never really played any minute. He has been resting for a week. So you think he was tired? He wasn't tired. But the yellow card slowed him down. The yellow card obviously went ahead, obviously slow him down a little bit. CK, if Ten Hag really wants to use Rashford, he should bench Garnacho. Why play him wrong side? Yeah, that was really very naive of Eric Ten Hag, that getting Marcus Rashford to the right, yet he really had Amad Diallo, then take off Marcus Rashford and bring on another kind of player. And I tell you, if it's not that yellow card that Marcus Rashford gets and then he fouls in a space of like 2-3 minutes after getting a first yellow card, I don't think that he would have gone to obviously take Marcus Rashford off. Sika says Ten Hag is a difficult person to deal with. Even if we say what, he will go ahead and do whatever he wants. Obviously, he's stubborn, but we pray to it that his stubbornness gets him to where he wants to be. But if it doesn't, then he's really gonna be sacked. Godfrey Makale, give Ten Hag time to build the team. Time has been given to him, and I think he's not gonna get sacked. I tell you, every time he has neared the sack, he does something wonderful. And I think that Ineos board was there looking at everything, and I don't think that they've seen red flags. John Ikedi, if the board refused to sack this man, they should prepare for allegation. Not really. They're not going to sack him. According to me, they aren't sacking him. I'll be surprised if they're sacking Eric Ten Hag next week. Happy Sichinga, better today, CK, but I think the Manchester United board has no money to sign any other manager at the moment. But let me ask you, do you think that the problem is 100% the manager? Because today, we've seen Marcus Rashford track back. You get track back. You get Garnacho's tracked back. And that's why they couldn't obviously open us up. You know, Bruno Fernandes is a player who is not really doing what he's supposed to do. When you look at Marcus Rashford, 2 shots at goal on target, really great. And he forced that second save, you know. The goalkeeper went ahead, obviously tipped that ball over the bar, and I was like, yeah, he has done something great. Let Ferdinand come and coach the team. The legends are too noisy, yet their fellow legend failed to steer. Yeah, and they never even went for him. They never went at him. That was really my biggest call for these people who call themselves legends. Because if you're a legend, what do you have to do? You have to obviously be very, 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 very objective, you know, against any money that comes in to obviously play for the club of Manchester, or manage the club of Manchester United. For Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no one, Scholes, Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, they never called him out, and they're like, trust the process, you get? And for Eric Ten Hag, they are criticizing everyone who really goes ahead obviously put in a very good shift or a very bad shift. So I think that is selective blaming. You get? I hate that. I hate that. Kenny Uganda, Eric must go, all right. Go the ways. So, did see any future there? Maguire, Evans, Eriksson, part of the future. Ugarte, Martinez, delete on the bench. You know, sometimes, for me, I told you in the match day live that Eric Ten Hag, I'm going to come in here and slate him if at all this team loses. Because he would have gone ahead to do, he wouldn't have gone on to do what I thought in my mind. But if you went with that and went ahead to obviously do the needful, then you have to give him his flowers, because he got a point at Villa Park, and not very many teams are really going to get Villa Park and really get a point there. And I know that there is Ten Hag out, and you're like, he should get out, but he has gone ahead obviously show something different today. Apostle says, I think Ineos should give Ten Hag a little time. I think Ten Hag has the time. He has the time. Angedo David, Anthony will never be a good. Anthony was really very, very bad. He came on and I was like, Ten Hag, what are you doing? I was like, how do you bring on Anthony and not bring on Amad Diallo? One will say he's that kind of player who will obviously go ahead and obviously put in a shift like tracking back, but Ahmad does that. Ahmad tracks back and does a lot going in front. So I was like, why is the manager doing this? Why is the manager doing this? But all in all, we've gone ahead obviously draw 0-0, and Erik ten Hag, I think, is still here. He's going nowhere. And for the club of Manchester United, I think the fixtures that are really coming in through are gonna mean a lot to Erik ten Hag, because Brentford at Old Trafford on the 19th is really gonna be one of those games that really you need to get to play, and this should be 3 points. Fenerbahce away, Ten Hag facing Jose Mourinho in the UEFA Europa League. Those are supposed to be 3 points because you're not doing really well into the UEFA Europa League. Then West Ham away, that's going to be a little bit hard, but I know if he fields the right team, he can obviously win it. Then we are having Leicester City, 30th October. That is the 16th round of the EFL Cup. Then 3rd November, we play Chelsea. 7th, we play PAOK. And on the 10th of November, we'll be playing Leicester City. So that's what I had for you here onto the Rokani Media, onto the United Matters channel. Thank you guys for watching through. Can Joseph they play with Hoyland? Yeah, they can play together. But Zirkzee came on, by the way, but I really hated his body language. The body language was poor and was like, he's not really into the game, you get? But all in all, a point is going to have to be gotten, and I think Ten Hag is going to obviously get some relief. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David has been my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Bye-bye.